All right, I think we're recording.
We are. All right, she's fired up.
Fucking bouse.
Nice. I like being able to see the video.
Yes.
First video podcast.
Set up in the dank studio.
Brand new studio, yeah.
This wasn't set up today, and this is what took us all so long to make another podcast.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot in the works.
But first thing that I wanted to talk about was that goddamn Ja Rule fucking Fyre Music Festival.
Yeah, explain to me now. This was like a rich person music festival. I didn't really look into it too much.
Yeah, so what it is Ja Rule was with this other rich dude basically, and they were like taking flying lessons or something, and they ran out of gasoline. They ran out of fuel, so they had to like land in this like island somewhere, and then that they said that's what gave them the idea to like throw this music festival. And so neither of them had ever done anything like this before. And they start setting this shit up, and they advertise it as like a luxury like festival, and you're supposed to be able to go there, and it's going to be like staying at a resort basically.
Okay.
On like a deserted island, which wasn't deserted. But anyways, people paid like anywhere between $2,000 and $12,000 for a ticket. And then
I saw the tents. The tents looked like FEMA tents.
They were disaster relief tents.
Okay.
Like that they give refugees and stuff.
That's high quality right there.
Yeah, so you go in the tent, and it's just like a mattress on a fucking like wooden like plank basically. And
that's what the people paid for.
yeah, and if you look up, they like posted pictures of the food online, and it was supposed to be like gourmet chefs and stuff, and it was like fucking.
Well, I saw
like,
I did see the
like,
one picture of a fucking piece of cheese on a sandwich.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like cheese, lettuce, tomato on fucking shitty ass bread in a to-go frying pan, like styrofoam container.
Hey, when you're broke, you know what your best go-to dessert for kids? Fucking brown sugar toast.
Yep.
Brown sugar toast,
Yep.
Cinnamon toast. That's a good cheap snack for kids. Pro tip for if you're poor.
But so yeah.
So they paid all this money.
Pay all this money, and it was advertised as like you shouldn't need any cash on you or anything.
Oh yeah, because I've been to those festivals. You have a wristband that's registered to your card.
Yep, you upload funds to the wristband or whatever.
The way we did it was at the one I was at is your credit card was on there.
It could be that way too. Either.
So I don't know. It could be different too.
But anyways, whatever happened is like, so they could only use the wristband at like the festival places, but none of them were there, so they were stranded on this island with no money.
All these rich white people stranded on an island. It's like Survivor back in the day, before it got easy, which is a gripe I have. Survivor is way too easy nowadays.
So they're fucking stranded. There's wild pigs and dogs running everywhere, and like, there's no way to get back home.
So there was
transportation
pigs.
was organized by the festival.
So like they're literally stranded on. Where's this island at? Like
I think it was somewhere down in the like Dominican Republic area or Bahamas. I can't like remember right off the top of my head. But
I could survive easily on that island if they had pigs running around.
And apparently
I'd be good.
They were aware like months ahead of time that it wasn't gonna pan out that well.
Oh jeez.
And like they were actually like calling ALEC and telling them not to show up and stuff, but they were still like letting people come.
Well, isn't that kind of like what was that dude who came here to do a concert?
Kevin Gates, yeah.
Yeah, he came here to do a concert and then he fucking totally just bailed.
And but not only that, we just found out that Ja Rule and the other people were like spending all the money they got way ahead of time on just dumbass shit, dude.
Well, that's like, what they do.
They gave Kylie Jenner $250,000 for an Instagram post. about like the
How do
fire.
people make money off of Instagram? I hear that all the time. People are making money off of Instagram. I would
It's
love.
exposure, dude.
I mean, is it just I just take pictures of myself and everybody loves it?
Yeah, dude. Can you imagine being so famous someone pays you $250,000 for just a post on their social media page?
Yeah, see, I just don't think anybody's ever gonna, with my like 30 followers on Twitter, I just don't think anybody's ever gonna offer me that kind of cash.
Yeah, fucking that Cash Me Outside bitch. She people pay her like $30,000 just to show up at a party.
The chick's a millionaire now, I heard.
That's crazy, dude.
I mean,
That bitch
whatever.
capitalized.
Right? Yeah, good for her, I guess. She's not even 18. She's stacked
No, she's
like
13.
She's stacked like she's 20.
Yeah, no, she's like 13 or 14.
Fucking first I was like, Jesus, gotta
was like,
check myself.
No way she's 13. No
Right?
way.
Her voice though make you want to fucking drive a stake through your eardrum. It's like find a Q-tip. Pow.
Yes.
Pop
But yeah,
it.
so and then they were spending like they dropped like 20 G's on like just like hanging out with Instagram models and stuff. And
God,
like
some Dan Blazarian shit.
yeah, it was just a bunch
like
of
spend
dumb,
money to look cool.
Yeah, it was
that's
just
why I have a problem with that guy.
it was just a bunch of dumb shit like that. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
look
don't
like
know.
I'm like getting a little loud on there.
I'll probably have to like cut it down or
You
whatever.
can fuck with it. I didn't mean to mess with your flow. Keep going.
But anyways, yeah. Yeah, that's all it was. They were just like wasting their money on
Well,
stupid
yeah.
shit.
So okay, did they get off the island, or do we
Yeah,
have
I
some
think
Americans stranded on
there-
an island somewhere that we need to go rescue?
There might be some like I think there might be some people still down there, but I think most people got home by now. And they're like offering people refunds, but in the email that they send you to get a refund or whatever, they also ask you like, or you could just double down and we'll give you like if you ordered 3 VIP passes this time, we'll give you like 6 VIP passes next time or whatever. And you can come in the
Ooh.
2018 Fyre Music Festival. And that's like, I really have to question if anybody is going to actually like do that.
Oh, I can't imagine they wouldn't. Rich people don't give a shit. They just love to spend their money.
But
That's like that. I just thought about this. That Bill Burr, he talks about the other day. I was listening to him. He's talking about that ESPN 30 for 30, where all the rich dudes, it's called Broke, and they all go broke. And I've watched it. It's hilarious. Like all these idiots talking about $100,000 on a necklace. Like if you spend $100,000 on a necklace, you deserve to go broke.
you deserve to get it taken from you.
Right? Like LeBron James doesn't have that stuff. That's why he's a billionaire. Tiger Woods, same thing.
Yeah, no, it's fucking
I can't think of any
ridiculous.
white athletes who really made a lot of money. Tom Brady, he's fucking
Larry Bird, maybe, I don't know.
Larry Bird. Larry Bird played basketball back when they made like $100,000 and they thought that was good.
That's true.
Larry Bird.
But $100,000 back then was probably a lot.
Oh
a lot
shit! If you
better.
invested it right, who knows? Maybe he's good with investments. I don't see him on commercials, so he's obviously not hurting for money. But no, I mean, the fucking listening to those guys how they blew all their money, because there's no way I could do it. I don't know how you could spend that much money. Once
No.
I had a fucking brand new vehicle, if I had like the one guy, he blew $78 million. $78 million.
Never, dude.
Like,
How is that even possible?
I could be in a mill on like 4 houses and all the cars I could ever want, and I'd still just be in like $1 million. And maybe it's, I don't know, maybe I don't understand it because I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, I always think that too, because I always like, I don't even want an expensive car. Just buy like some quality like $30,000 to $60,000 car. Gets me,
Yeah, I mean,
like,
well,
and then
most
drive it until it's dead, not buying a new one every fucking year.
people buy Lamborghinis and Ferraris. A Ferrari is a piece of shit. A Lamborghini's a piece of shit. Buy an Audi or something German.
And it's like,
Porsche.
how are you gonna repair that shit? How are you gonna get like maintenance done on that shit? You got to go to like special places.
I'd buy a Tesla, but we have 2
Oh, I would buy a Tesla
We
too.
have 2 charging stations
like-
in South Dakota.
Yeah, you couldn't drive across the state in one.
Yeah, I don't know what the battery's life on them was like.
I know some hybrid cars do like gas and fuel, so you can like.
Those hybrid cars are weird to ride in. It doesn't sound like it's fucking on.
Yeah, I was That's what they do in boats, like huge boats, like yachts and stuff. They just like generate a fake engine noise because it's all computerized and electronic.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like to like
Well, I suppose.
it's like a subconscious thing, so it like calms the people down. Because
Huh.
they like if they didn't
You don't hear anything, you think the motor's dead.
Yeah,
you're
you're just like
water.
dead in the water.
So that's interesting too. It's like I wonder those big cruise ships because they had that one shut down in the water and didn't it roll over or something a while back?
Like up in Italy or something.
Yeah, like I mean I didn't realize something that big still had to keep moving and dodging waves or it'd fucking roll right over. Like sitting in chop is the sketchiest thing ever in a boat. It's way better.
Oh
to
yeah,
just
you never
want
like,
to be taking the waves and trying to zig through them or ride them. I guess is basically what you're doing. Try to watch where they're going and get on top of it and go with the flow. Instead of crashing into them.
I almost flipped my friend's grandpa's boat one time because he was.
I never knew you've been boating, Cody.
Oh yeah, I used to go boating a lot.
Damn.
But he's let me drive the boat for a minute, and I was going like 45, 50 miles an hour, and I was like, "Oh, there's the dock we need to go to," and I just like whipped a turn.
A little sharp.
Yeah, way sharper than
Oh yeah, you gotta be careful.
No, everything ended up all right, but definitely was like, all right, well, let's not do that again.
Shit, the best one I ever saw was out on the river with my dad's buddy because we've never owned a boat, and he we were coming in because it was getting bad, and he's got a nice boat, but this other dude's got his big fancy Ranger, which a Ranger is like a $60,000 boat. And he's got a 300 horsepower motor on it. And he's coming in, he's just bucking waves, and he takes this one just wrong and gets swamped. So a wave comes right over the top and just rolls over his boat. Cooler, fucking tackle boxes, everything falling out. It was hilarious.
Oh man, dude.
That's what you get for being an idiot.
Dickhead. Fuck, dude. Yeah. I haven't been boating in forever though. I used to go with like my grandpa used to have a boat. And then, like, my uncles had boats and stuff.
Yeah, I just got my boat, but it's an old piece of shit. But the on this music festival shit, talking about that, how many music festivals have you been to, Cody? What's your experience from them like?
I think Soundset's, like, the only, like...
You've been to Soundset?
Festival I've been to. Yeah, I went a couple years, 2015, I think, which is best year, so...
Oh, I was gonna say, I went the year Wiz Khalifa got out of jail right before he...
I think that was the year before I went.
Okay, that was a dope one. That's the only time I went.
Yeah, David Neal went to both, I think.
Oh.
Or maybe he just went to that one. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But he told me he liked that one because it wasn't raining all day. And the one I went to was fucking raining all day, which sucked. But the lineup was, like, fucking dope. But I want to go to some more. There's, like, some really, like, dope lineups.
There's always music festivals I want to go to, but it's like, I don't like going to that shit by myself.
No, yeah, I don't want to be the
And
lame dude who's, like, there with no friends.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. It's just, those things, there's always seems to be an uneasy feeling in me going to those large gatherings of people that somebody's going to be, like, acting like a tough guy or something, or somebody's getting violent. Like, the crowd could riot, you know? And I want to have some peeps there with me to back me up. I want to be all by myself.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Which is another interesting thing. Like, I've been to country concerts, and I've been to a bunch of rock concerts. I've never had any violence at any of them except for the country concerts. You go to any country concert, everybody's violent and drunk. Oh, my God, it's awful.
There was I went to I guess I went to Crow Fest, but I don't know if you can really call that a music festival, to be fair.
It's a concert, whatever.
But I went to a couple of those, like, when they first started coming out. Like, I went to the very first one, I think, which was, like...
Yeah, I went to one of those. It was, like, I went to Buck Cherry. They were there.
I don't think I went to that one.
Okay, because I saw Buck Cherry, and then Avenged Sevenfold was supposed to be there the year I went to, but they bailed.
Yeah, I think there was, like, a year between the 2 years I went, and that was the year I didn't go. But the first year I went, I think it was, like, Slipknot, Korn...
I've seen Slipknot once. I love Slipknot.
All That Remains.
They put on a show.
Then, like, some other band. But Slipknot was dope.
Dude, I really credit, like, I don't give a shit what you think about the music. A band that puts on a good show to me is awesome. Like, and Slipknot does.
Yeah,
They got
Slipknot
the,
was crazy.
they got the clowns and the drums just banging
Yeah, dude.
in circles.
Joey Jordison on the drums is crazy, man. He was like up in the air, upside down, like fucking just going to town.
It's a
dude.
great show.
It was crazy.
And then fucking Corey puts out a hell. I mean, he's a good singer. Give a shit if he does screamo. He's a great singer. Corey Taylor.
Korn was pretty funny.
I don't like Korn.
I don't
They
listen to their
spell it
music,
wrong.
but they were pretty
They
funny
fucking
live.
don't even know how to spell corn.
The guy's mic stand was like, it was like this little part extending up to where his mic was held, and then it was like this body of a naked woman.
Oh, jeez.
It's like, wow, how typical.
You know, I mean, festival-wise, though, it's like every festival I've always gone to, there's all sorts of cool shit going on, like, to keep you entertained for the most part. Like, when I was at Rockfest, they had fucking zip lines, and they had all sorts of, like, cigarette booths and shit set up for you.
Yeah, there wasn't
free
actually
cigarettes.
There wasn't actually anything like that at Soundset or Crowfest. What I was getting.
Crowfest wouldn't have that shit.
No.
I'm just like 3-day festivals. They'll have. Like,
I've never
a lot
been to
more
them.
shit.
To be fair, I've never been to a multiple day.
Yeah, I guess
festival.
Soundset's only one day.
Yeah.
I always forget that.
Yep. It's like a long ass day though,
It is
and it's
long.
huge ass acts.
3 stages, right?
Yep. 2 or 3, yeah, something like that. I think it's like one main stage, one stage with like lesser known, not quite main stage people, and then like one stage for like more like local, like lesser known hip hop acts.
I always
and
dig
stuff.
that. Like every or every big festival I've gone to, they always have a local stage. Even the Rock Fest I went to, they had a local stage, and I saw one of the best Nirvana cover bands I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, at Crowfest. What I wanted to say was the year, not the year with Slipknot, the other year I went, which was like Seether and Red and like 3 Days Grace.
I've seen 3
Who
Days
put on
Grace.
like a pretty good live show too, to be fair.
3 Days Grace, good. Yeah, I
They
don't
had, like,
understand why
pretty cool
people
part-
mosh at them because they're not quite a moshing
No,
at all.
maybe
Kinda
like one song, but like
like Let's Start a Riot. or
yeah, that
something.
one. That's the one I was thinking.
But yeah,
They had like pretty cool pyrotechnics and stuff.
But see, that brings my point too. It's like the rock concerts and rock fest I went to. It's like people are moshing at that shit, and it looks violent, but nobody's actually getting in fist fights.
But
You get punched at a country concert just for fucking looking at some dude's wife. Been there.
pretty early on in the day, at this point, it was like the first or second band was like just getting off stage, and this drunk guy was like just got a beer or something, and I think he was trying to go back up through the crowd where his friends were, but there was like no room to get ahead of me, and like me and this girl I was there with were
Stud.
we're like shoulder to shoulder, so he couldn't like really get between us at all. And I like kind of like shoved him back with my elbow, just like, dude, get the fuck off. And he like poured a little of his beer on me, but like on purpose. I was like, I think I was like 15 or 16 at this time. And this guy was obviously had to be 21 or older. And he's trying to start some shit with me. But I definitely think I could have took him in a fight if it came down to it, because he's pretty drunk and just like really like skinny. Not that that means anything, but he just looked like I could take him. Anyways, he tries to start something, and this older dude from behind me like grabs him back, and then like the security guard must have just seen all this shit happen too, because right before the guy could make like a confrontation of it, everybody like they just like grabbed him and threw him out of the crowd immediately. It was like super funny. That was the only experience I've ever had with like violence. I've seen people getting kicked out for fights, but I never like saw the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell a lot of stories. Well, not a lot, but I could tell a few different ones. But like the best one was I got kicked out of the Tim McGraw concert in Sioux Falls because it's long story short, it was like in an argument with this old guy, and I was drunk, but I wasn't even 21 at the time, and totally had de-escalated and gotten away from the situation. And then like later on in the night, he like saw me across the fucking concert as I'm walking in. Back in, it's the fairgrounds, so you know I'm walking in underneath the grandstands, and he comes up and he fucking shoulder checks me and punches me in the mouth, And then he's like some nerdy fucking fat works desk job guy. And he like steps back really quick. And then this other like pretty stoked, yoked older dude grabs me and he's like, hey, just let it go, man. It's cool. It's cool. And it's like, fuck that or something. I threw my lighter at him. Security guard comes up behind me and just picks me up like I don't weigh anything.
Oh, yeah.
Carried me out.
Yeah, dude, I've seen those guys lift up huge ass dudes like they're nothing, just out of the crowd, pick them up over the fence.
Well, it's like, it's fucked up. I feel like I get specifically targeted in that shit because it's like I'm just some scrawny, tall guy. Like, they know they don't have anything to worry about.
For sure.
I'm a low threat.
Oh, Five Finger Death Punch was that the one I went to, too?
I saw them at Rockfest. They put out a good show. They're cool. They brought up kids on stage, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I don't really like them, but they did that.
Yeah, I don't like their music that much, but I appreciated the show.
Yeah, when I saw them live, they did that. Like, brought up kids to, like, do some
they gave some kid a bat. That was weird. They just give a kid a bat.
It's like,
maybe not the best
questionable. But
we have terrorists in Sioux Falls now.
Apparently, man. But only after they switched the county that the crime was committed in.
Is that what they did?
Because the original police department.
Yeah, I remember the police said that he didn't commit a crime because they did not arrest him.
Sioux Falls Police Department, which is Minnehaha County jurisdiction.
And then what's Gustavo Marty Jackley?
Yeah, fucking
I don't
Marty.
know, what position would you give him?
Fucking Schindler.
Fyre?
Might as well be, dude. But
Fyre Jackley
went and instead took it to the Lincoln County Police. And 2 weeks later, they decided to investigate him. What?
Nothing. I was just fucking moving shit because I flipped it over and it was on the keyboard. Dude, don't get off topic.
Oh, anyways.
Fucking pay attention to things I'm doing. I'm always doing shit.
Got in Lincoln County Police Department 2 weeks after the fact to go and arrest the guy. And
then he got well, go ahead, finish.
Oh yeah, for terrorism charges, which he also picked up possession of meth.
Yeah, he picked up my favorite charge, the one that only exists in South Dakota, possession by ingestion.
Oh, originally he had a baggie of meth on him.
Oh, okay, because I just
a baggie
saw
of meth in his house.
I just saw he pissed positive for meth, and it's like, well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Another victim of that stupid crime.
No, they found meth at his house first, and then his son.
Yeah, he definitely had his problems. I'm not standing up for the guys as a humanitarian or anything, just as a human being with some rights.
And so his son bailed him out, and then like the morning after or the morning I don't remember if it was the morning after or the morning of they bailed him out. I couldn't really understand from the article. He pissed positive again, and some people have been arguing. I don't know how long meth stays in the system, but some people have been arguing.
It's like 5 days.
Some people have been arguing that he didn't, like, from the time that he possibly last could have smoked meth.
They didn't give him enough time.
Yeah, because when they picked him up and by the time he got bailed out and piss tested again.
Well, that's where that possession by ingestion is just a ridiculous fucking law in the first place, is because
one state out of 49 or all 50 has them.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, all you have to do is, like, you have smoked one joint one time on December 1st, and you get picked up on December 22nd, and they piss test you, and you haven't smoked since December 1st, but you piss positive for it, then you get a charge for having marijuana in your system. I think it's just the biggest joke ever, but everybody just is like, whatever.
To be fair, I think you'd have to have been smoking pretty heavy
for it to stay that long. Yeah.
But anyways, your point's like, even if it's,
they can break it down too pretty good. It's interesting because, like, in my case, when I got my blood taken and I got charged with possession by ingestion, they actually can tell you, like, parts per whatever, how much of it's in your blood and everything. Yeah, so I mean, luckily, since I'd been working for 12 hours, it was really low in mine.
They well, it's like, and it would be different if I got like a charge for not possession, just like the use of. I can't remember what it's called.
Well, yeah, if they catch you in the act while you're doing it.
Or like if I piss positive, they can charge me. But a lot of states charge me on that, but not for possession.
Well, that's if you're already a criminal. So, like, if you're on probation in other states and you piss positive, yeah, and you're not supposed to, then you would get in trouble. But, like, here, you can be 100% never committed a crime ever, and they suspect that you're driving under the influence for whatever reason. In my case, I was told my pupils were big, which was a joke.
Here's what happened to me is I was driving home from a party with me and my roommates, and he had an open 40 ounce in my car. And I had like a headlight, a taillight, and a blinker out, so that's my own fault.
Maintenance is important on your vehicle if you're riding dirty.
But so I get pulled over on the way home, obviously in Madison, so because the cop has nothing else to do, and so he sees the 40 ounce or whatever, and starts he takes me back to his car, asks questions or whatever, starts going ask my roommate questions. And then he's got to search my vehicle or whatever, and he finds we had like 2 or 3 pipes in the car that he found, and one of them was like a chillum, like a straight pipe in a bag of rubbing alcohol because we were cleaning it out, and he kept asking me what it was, and I was like, dude, it's a pipe in a fucking bag of rubbing alcohol, and he said it smells like a bong, and I was like, yeah, and it also smells like rubbing alcohol. You think
bong?
We're just
What's a bong smell like different than a pipe?
Or he's like it smells like a bong water, cause the res.
Bong water definitely does stink.
Cause all the res and the rubbing alcohol, and I was like, yeah,
You
and it also
drank
smells
bong
like
water on accident?
no.
It's disgusting.
And I was like, it also smells like rubbing alcohol. You think we're just like smoking out of rubbing alcohol, dude? I was cleaning the fucking pipe. Why would I lie to you about
you
that?
save butane. You light the rubbing alcohol, and you just got yourself a continuous flame to light the bulb.
Anyways, so we get piss tested for that, cause he catches us with the pipes. So
hey,
then
you know what happens if you refuse that piss test?
they can get a cath. They can like
they threaten to strap you down once they get a warrant and shove a catheter up your urethra, and then jam a needle in your arm too.
No, they have in South Dakota they have the legal right to do that
if they get the warrant.
But I personally don't trust South Dakota judges enough to.
Well, I just wrote it out until they got the warrant, and then I kind of was like, yeah. And then he gave me the little spiel about I'm gonna shove a fucking tube up your pee hole if you don't want to pee in a cup for me. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna do it.
That's the first thing my lawyer said to me.
Plan.
Was like, yeah, you should have just given them the piss test. And I was like, I just wanted to go home. I was fucking tired and shit.
You shouldn't have.
They were gonna do it anyway. He was gonna get a warrant.
No, I know, but my lawyer told me that it was good that I denied it at first because he was like fucking.
But our cases are different.
Yeah, they are very different.
Like I was
watching stoner movies. I was ready to hang out all night. I'll sit in jail all night.
He like found pipes on my car, so they have the legal right to piss test me after that. At that point.
Oh, I did too. I mean, they did. They had the warrants, so they had the legal to piss. But
they tried to give me a DUI too, but I passed all
yeah,
that
see,
shit.
that was my original charge, but I got dropped.
I was super stoned.
I got that dropped because it was a joke. Because it's like nobody believes you can't go to work for 12 hours and then still be high when you get off work.
Yeah.
But the best part about the whole thing is I had dabs in my truck, and the dude didn't even find them because he was too lazy to search my vehicle.
I had a grinder that was probably like this big. It was like a huge grinder sitting on the like floor of my car while he's like searching it. Didn't find it. And they frisked us, and my roommate Steve had a little stone pipe in that like that little change pocket.
Yeah.
And sorry about that. And they didn't find that either.
You gotta pitch that though. You don't want to bring shit into jail.
He had it with him through the whole night.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when we were leaving.
Well, they didn't make you change?
No, we didn't stay the night or anything.
I had to fucking change anyway.
No, we just got booked.
I did too. That's weird because I don't know. I guess it's different here in Minnehaha, but they made me. I had to stand in front of this dude, do the squat and cough, and then I had to fucking put on the fucking jumper.
Oh no, we didn't have to do any of
I
that.
chilled for like 4 hours wearing the jumper and the flip flops that they give you, and then when they let me out, when I finally got to, the bullshit thing is I had the money, I had cash to bail myself out, and
we didn't do any jail time.
No, I know, but I was just waiting for like after they got the warrant even, and I gave them my piss and my blood. Like I waited for like 2-3 hours just
We
for
didn't
them
get our
to
blood taken.
process me to let me go.
Our whole thing, probably from getting pulled over to leaving the police station, took probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Fuck, I was there for 6 hours. And the most ridiculous part about it was it's like, so I changed like I told you. Well, then when they let me out, then I had to fucking change back in my regular clothes. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was probably like hour and a half too, because he like pulled us over, and then it was probably like 45 minutes before we were like going to back to the police station.
Oh.
And then they basically just like cuffed me to like a bench, and
yeah, they like
made me wait there.
Like I'm gonna run. Where am I gonna run?
Made me wait there while they booked my roommates, which fucking sucked because I had to piss, and they wouldn't let me piss until they like could book me. And I was like, dude, just give me the cup right now, and I'll piss right now. Like, I don't give a shit. And he wouldn't let me do it. And I was like, okay, dude, I'm just gonna like fucking piss my pants then. Like, I don't give a shit, man. But I didn't. Obviously, I just like waited out. But I should have just pissed my pants.
I would have. I got pulled over once for speeding because I was coming home from work because I was sick as shit, and I'd thrown up in my car already a couple times. Oh, excuse me. And the guy made me sit in his car, and I was trying so hard to throw up in his car the whole time, and I couldn't do it. But no, the funniest thing about me getting arrested was they brought somebody in. Like I had to stay for a while, like I said, and after a while, they took all the people who were staying the night. They took them into the back, but I had to hang out because I wasn't staying the fucking night. They knew I was bailing out. So, but before that, they brought in some dude who was being belligerent and shit, and they put the little spit bag on him, and they're dragging him through. So when they brought him through the little area, we had to go into the holding cells around it. And so I'm sitting in there with this native dude, and I'm bullshitting with him, and he's talking about how he got caught with some pills in his pocket. And he's going to get like 7 to 10 because it's his like third strike or something. He's bullshit. And I was
Good old Bill Clinton.
And then, I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like an asshole for saying it, but he thought it was hilarious. I was like, damn, that really sucks. I'm about to get out of here in a couple hours and go home and get really high. Like, I mean, sorry about your situation, but I'm fucking definitely not that screwed.
Yeah, it's
not
like,
yet.
Well, it makes me feel better about my life.
Oh, God, yeah. That was a good. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't even see anybody else. And I think they were trying to make us stay the night because they were like asking me how I was going to get home and like if anybody could come pick us up and stuff. I was like, dude, you're not giving me a DUI. I obviously wasn't intoxicated enough to give a DUI. So I'm going to fucking walk the fuck back to my car.
Had you been drinking?
No. He tried to give me a DUI because of the weed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I had not been drinking at that point, no.
Yeah, because it's really hard to drive when you're high.
And then he lied in the police report, which I didn't want to call him out on because it wasn't anything enough to like, it was just like semantical, I believe. But like, he said that he mentioned weed when he first came up to my door, he like asked what that smell was. Never did that. Never even said anything about weed until he searched my car and found the pipes. So... But I don't think, it wouldn't have been anything to make a thing about. I don't think.
Why did you search your car in the first place?
Because there was an open 40 ounce in it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yep, you told me that. Hey, speaking of weed, though, about Jeff Sessions, he was asking for a bunch of money to go down and shut down medical marijuana dispensaries, and he got a whole $0 for that venture.
How's he going to make America great again, though, without that? Like, how's he gonna like take away our freedoms to make us great again?
I love
without that money.
Taken away. No, I don't know.
Don't you remember the good old Patriot Act, dude?
Is that a Jeff Sessions thing?
No, that was Bush. I'm just saying, like, giving up my freedoms.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just really can't stand.
My mom
cliff
said that,
sections.
dude. She's like, I'll give up my freedoms if it means like safety. I was like,
Everybody
nah, it
wants
doesn't
to
mean
give
that
up
though.
freedom for
It
safety.
doesn't mean that though.
That's what the airport does. Which, speaking of, I don't know if I like. I've been reading some shit. I don't know if I like walking through that fucking little thing where you gotta hold your hands like this, and then you walk through it, and it scans your body. Apparently, it's kind of like a microwave, and it's like cooking you. It's like, I don't.
Yeah, I've heard a bunch of
going
different
through that
crazy shit about shit like that, and I don't know what to believe. I could I could believe all of it's true. I could believe none of it's true. I don't like. I just don't fly ever. I've been on one plane in my whole life.
As have I.
So.
Yeah,
just not a problem I have to worry about right now.
Yeah,
but I do think TSA is fucked. Sorry.
Yeah, that. I mean, the idea of flying anymore, I'd rather fucking drive most of the time anyway. Because it's like, unless
I'm going to like the edge of the fucking country.
Yeah, unless I get a good ticket, like first class ticket or something like that, I mean, there's a good chance you get stuck next to some fat son of a bitch and they're flopping half into your seat and you have to smell them the whole fucking flight. And I mean, I'm not going to do it. There's no way.
I won't.
I would never do it.
I won't do it.
I mean, I will lay down in the aisle. Bring the plane down. I bet I'll survive better in the aisle than sitting next to Tubby.
You remember that United Airlines shit that happened a couple weeks ago where they like beat the fuck out of this doctor?
Yeah, it's been on the news a little bit.
Yeah, and so after that, like within the same week, I think this shit happened. There was like a married couple that was like flying to wherever their wedding was going to be at. So they weren't married yet, I guess, whatever. But when they got on the plane, there was like someone or like some people in their seats, but like the plane was like half empty, so they didn't like, they were just like going to go sit somewhere else. And apparently in the in United Airlines planes, like the first couple rows of seats are like elite economy, like I don't remember what they're called, but it's like super economy plus or something.
Yeah, it's economy plus because I had an economy plus seat on my only flight I ever took. Best fucking $5-10 upgrade I ever made in my life.
And so they went and sat in some of those seats, which were mostly empty, and like a couple minutes after they sat down, a stewardess came up and was like, "Oh, are these your seats?" And they were like, "Oh no, but like we just thought it was okay if we'd sit here." And they were like, "No, you need to go back to your regular seats." And so they were like, "Okay, no problem." And they went to go sit down at their regular seats. And then a couple minutes later, like a U.S. air marshal like came and was like, "You guys got to get off the plane for like you're being like uncooperative and stuff."
What the fuck?
Yeah, and they were like,
"Have you heard Bill Burr's little thing about that dude he sat next to on the plane who was a weirdo?"
I want to say yes, but I can't.
He was like all worried that Bill Burr was a security threat.
Oh yeah.
That's a funny story.
Yeah.
I was really worried about that when I was on a plane. Like, I was just trying to keep to myself and not talk to anybody. But then at the same time, I was like, man, does that make me look like a weirdo? I was so worried.
Am I the psycho?
Because I just had a backpack. Like, I didn't have shit, and I'm on a one-way flight. Like, looks odd like on the cheapest ticket you could get.
Fucking.
It's like, motherfucker upgraded, though. I upgraded my seat, so I think then they were just like, there's no way somebody's upgrading their seat if they're blowing up the plane.
Why would he do that? That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But, I mean, I've always said if I knew the end was near, even if it was just an apocalypse, I'd run up so much credit card debt.
I would spend so much money I don't have, dude.
Buy everything.
And then the apocalypse doesn't happen and you're fucking...
yeah, that would suck. That's something that's fun. It's like they used to do it. They don't really do it anymore. Somebody sent you a credit card statement or a credit card in the mail, like actually sent the credit card, because they used to do that, and then it came to you and you weren't 18. You could go out and run that fucker up and then never pay it because you're not old enough to fucking be signed to that contract, so you get to keep your shit and it's their fault. One of my teachers in fucking business school in college told us that if you ever had gotten one before, then you should have ran it up and gotten free stuff.
That's hilarious. I don't think I ever got one.
That's good stuff.
But that's hilarious.
I never got one. That's
life skills.
It is. I mean, fuck, if I have a kid, that's the first thing I'm doing. It's like, hey, let's see if we can get you a $20,000 limit and go get dad some cool shit.
Did you hear about the kid who, like, this bank mistakenly put, like, it was somewhere between, like, 10 and 30 G's in his account. And, of course, being some kid who just found all this money in his account.
Out.
Yeah, he fucking went and blew it all.
I'd pulled it all out,
and
cash.
Then, so when the bank realized their mistake, they're like, now they're like suing him for all that money and shit. And like, I think he's like liable for all that and stuff.
Probably. I mean,
which
banks
is like
you can't steal from
like,
the bank.
That's ridiculous to me, man. It's like
it's
their mistake, not
ridiculous.
mine.
Yeah, but he'll get fucked, I'm sure.
That actually happened to me one time. There was like $2,000 in my account that shouldn't have been there, and I was like, what?
Did you tell him about it? Because that's the thing on Monopoly. It's like bank error in your favor. That's a chance card. Take $50.
I waited it out a couple of days before I like spent any of the money that like wasn't mine that was in there, and
it'd have been gone the second I noticed it.
I was like, okay, I know how sketchy banks are. That was my first thought. I was like, if I spend this shit, they're definitely gonna come back to me for this. So I'll wait it out a couple of days, see what's. But then, eventually, it wasn't. They must have realized what the fuck they did. I'm sure someone called and was like,
so they
"Where
took
the
it out?
fuck is my $2,000?" Yeah, they just like took it back out.
That's weird. So then they don't even tell you about it. Like, explain.
Yeah, I was
never
let known about this situation.
It's really odd. I wonder about all the weird shit they're doing. Because they can do weird things to manipulate money, like just moving it around and shit to make more.
Oh yeah,
money.
Wells Fargo got a huge fine for just like.
Well, that was signing people up for credit cards and then not
just
telling
like
them about
opening accounts for people and stuff.
Yeah, because the more cards they have open, it's like it adds to their value of their stock. I imagine.
And it like costs people money yearly.
Yeah, well, is that what it was? I didn't know it was costing them any money.
Yeah, it was like slowly like taking money from people.
It's like $50 a year. People don't notice that.
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Yeah, that would be rough. I don't watch my shit enough. I mean, they easily take $50 from me, and I would never know.
I haven't never checked my bank statement once.
You're crazy.
So
now I do check that,
but
I
mean, it's always like around where I remember it, like where I know it should be. Like I'll check it right when I get paid, and then I can usually, until the next time I get paid, I can usually just like keep a good estimate about where it's at.
Didn't you have something you wanted to say about Jeff Sessions?
He's a little bitch. I don't know.
No. Yeah. I mean, he kind of is. He's old. Hopefully he'll die.
I thought that was all I wanted to say about Jeff Sessions was that like he's making America real great again.
I did enjoy Donald Trump's NRA speech. It was pretty good because now my 8-year impediment on my gun rights is over. So now we
all those people who were trying to take your guns for the last that you had to physically just fend off with your firearm.
Like honestly, I know New York. They had a little bit of. They were talking on taking guns that could hold lots of ammo for a little while there. I don't know that anybody ever actually turned any guns in, but there were a few little things, but nothing.
I know California is pretty strict as it goes, but
but I was just talking under Obama in the last 8 years. Like, I just can't really think of too much that was
not directly affected by Obama, at least.
Yeah, but the NRA, just like how they push it so much that if it weren't for the NRA, your guns would be gone. I think it's just the biggest joke ever. And they just milk poor people.
No, the NRA. Have you seen that Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode?
I don't watch that show.
Oh, dude. Okay.
I'm lame. I don't watch Always Sunny. Everybody starts watching that shit, and it's like, I don't want to watch it now.
Dude, that's like the best show I've ever seen in my whole life. But anyways.
It's on Comedy Central all the time. I don't even check it at all.
There's one episode where Danny DeVito goes on the news and starts like hyping up like the liberals wanting to take people's guns away, so you should go out and buy all the guns you can while you can and stuff.
I always said,
and he's like whipping everybody up into a frenzy.
Dude, if Hillary would have gotten elected, I was gonna buy mad stock in Smith and Wesson and some other gun companies because fucking idiot rednecks can be out there buying up all the guns.
Yeah. And
happened with Obama.
So so he's like whipping the public up into a frenzy because he had bought stock in a gun shop, and so he wanted people to go buy the guns.
Oh,
so he
okay.
like made it seem like people were trying to take their guns, and at one point they were like, "What? You're just like lying to us?" You're like, "You're just like the NRA."
Just like the NRA, of course. Oh fuck. Yeah, the NRA is pretty bad. Like, I mean, my biggest problem I've always had with the NRA is it feels very insulting to me, my intelligence, the bullshit that they spit at you, and then they expect that you're supposed to just believe it. It's like they just lie about a bunch of crap.
It's like,
and
well,
it's like, give us more money.
Both sides of it, dude. It's like,
kind of like
believe
going
what
to
we
church.
say because they're lying to you.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like going to church, though. It's just like they just feed you some shit and ask for money. That's all they do, and tell you how it's like you need to give the money or else something bad is going to happen.
So how much did this church cost?
How much did the fucking Wayne LaPierre makes like $1 million a year, and he's not
Dude,
even the fucking number one guy there.
I don't understand mega churches. Like, how do people go to those shits and be like, no, this is a legitimate, this is good, this is good.
Explain Jonestown to me, like. I don't know how
a lot of people were questioning it at the end, but like, he was like the only
have
thing.
you listened to the audio?
No. But
Okay, because like not a lot of them were really questioning it. There were a lot of cheering for their own death. The worst part about the audio of Jonestown is like fucking kids. They're feeding them the poison.
Oh yeah.
Fucking kids are just like
freaking
screaming.
out. Yeah.
And then it's like you hear all this commotion, like it fucking sounds like a little city, and then it's just silence.
Before they went to Jonestown, he was like promoting like segregation, or like he was like against segregation, and like he was one of the very first people against segregation, against segregation, and like a lot of like progressive stuff, and he was never like promoting that like mass suicide thing until like they went to.
Well, yeah, the government was coming down there.
Jonestown.
The FBI was coming down there to get him.
Yeah.
And that's why they really, I mean, they were going to shut him down and lock him up. So, I mean, that's what the suicide was for, is because they were knocking on the door. They were getting ready to come get his ass.
Yeah, so, like.
So he took the easy way out.
Well, and apparently, like, he would make people drink Kool-Aid before then. Like, before that final time. And if they would, like, question drinking it, he would, like, shoot them.
Yeah, I did hear about that, and there was something I saw in that, because I was on that Reddit thing about the declassified shit, because somebody had said that there were gunshots, and I've heard the audio. I never heard any fucking gunshots. Like, I can identify a gunshot pretty well, and I did not hear anything even close to that. It was just dumbass Jim Jones talking the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, and then a couple fucking idiots standing up and, oh, I'm so glad I get to kill myself. Dude, the one I was going to send you the other day, but there's no way to send these things without it telling you exactly what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So you'd know and you wouldn't listen to it. But I was going to send you that audio of the fucking grizzly man getting chewed up by that grizzly. Like, it makes me sound really morbid to say that, but it's like, if you're out there doing what he's doing, like, you deserve to get eaten by a fucking grizzly bear. And the audio is just funny because it's like he's just fucking such an idiot. Like, I shouldn't say that audio is so much funny as the whole documentary Grizzly Man is hilarious. Like, there's these bears fighting in this one scene, and he's just like really close to these two giant grizzlies just beating the shit out of each other. And he's, stop it, stop, don't fight. It's just like, are you insane? Or like the sheriff, they interviewed the sheriff who found his body and shit. And he's like, well, I imagine the bears, like, they let him live out there so long because they thought he was retarded or something. It was fucking funny. Like, I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but it was. Like,
yeah, it sounds like he was not all there, at least.
No, and then, of course, like, he's like, the whole time I thought he was gay, but then there's some girl with him. Like, that's his girlfriend. And I'm pretty sure she got 8, too. She's like yelling at him the whole time while he's getting 8, and she's like, play dead, and he just keeps yelling. It's like, yeah, you dumb idiot, you gotta play dead. Like that one
Probably kind of hard to play dead while fucking bear's jaws are
Dude.
clamped around your leg.
Fucking Leonardo DiCaprio did it in The Revenant. And then you got there's that dude who took that video of him. He got attacked by a bear and he's all just mauled up. He's out like looking for elk or something. He's all mauled up. And he's like takes this video after he walks 3 miles out of the woods. He's like, well, got attacked by a bear. He's got like a whole bit in his arm and shit. And he's like, gonna drive to the hospital now. It took him like 3 hours to get to the hospital.
You watch
like,
the craziest shit, dude.
That's a man right there.
I would have died.
Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get attacked by a grizzly. I wouldn't have let the grizzly fucking get me in the first place.
There
I feel
are
like.
very few wild animals I want to get attacked by.
And it's like, I don't even try to watch this shit. It just kind of comes, like, a lot of it is, like, from podcasts and stuff. They'll suggest it and talk about it. And then I'm like, well, I got to check it out.
That's like it's like, oh, that sounds like something I'll never watch.
Yeah, like, I mean, Bill Burr talks about the one dude who falls out of a goddamn tree and
Snaps
breaks
his
his
legs.
Yeah, I wouldn't want. I haven't listened to that one. I have no interest in listening to it.
No,
Bill Burr makes
sound,
it hilarious.
He makes
though.
it sound like the worst thing.
He makes it so funny though. It's just like his pain scream. Bah! It's just like, oh god, never. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I love when Bill Burr was talking about the video with the gorilla that like learns sign language.
I've never seen that. I've seen Coco the gorilla though. That's the one that knows sign language.
Yeah, it's probably that same gorilla, but they like gave her a cat.
It is the same gorilla, Cody.
I have to imagine. I don't know how many gorillas
When they
know
took
sign
the
language.
fucking cat away, it's horrible. They felt really. Oh, the cat got killed. That's
yeah,
right. I have
it
heard
escaped. It escaped and got killed or whatever. And
Yeah,
like
and the gorilla was.
they show the recording at the end of the night or whatever, and like the gorilla's crying, so it like fully understands what's occurring right now. Like it's a cognitive, like I don't know, man. It's like how can we lock that shit up, dude?
What, locking up the gorilla?
Yeah, it's like they teach it sign language so it can convey, and it like can accurately convey its emotions. So that means it's aware of what the fuck's going on, and it like knows what.
Did
its
it ever
situation
ask
is.
to get out? Was it like, let me free?
I mean, if
like-
it's smart enough, can you really like?
Just like
It might have. They might have.
open door.
That's probably information they wouldn't let us know.
fucking trees.
That's probably information they wouldn't let us know.
Yeah. Ooh, we got a storm going outside.
But
No, I just went to the zoo actually last weekend or the week before that with my niece and my sister, and most of the monkeys don't seem too bummed to be there.
okay, but people say that about like.
Well, but they probably are, because I mean, they're not swinging around and acting crazy.
That's just like
they're just sitting there
their
and sleeping
environment
and shit.
Yeah.
But like that reindeers made me feel really bad. Motherfuckers just standing there, not moving at all, just looking at the ground. Looked like the saddest animal ever. I felt so bad for him.
I like the Omaha Zoo wasn't too bad because a lot of the animals
they got more
did have
space
like
there. I was at
a
the
lot
Great
of
Plains,
space.
so
Yeah, they don't have too much space here.
no.
But I still have a problem with like it's like I like zoos because I want to go see animals and it's
Yeah,
dope.
and I mean, like, I went to the zoo in
But I don't.
Toronto.
It's like
Great.
they're locked up.
Yeah, it's like I love a zoo. I love to get really high and go to a zoo, but then same thing. I feel bad for them because I'm high, probably.
And it's like they're locked up.
Now, I mean, I've heard Joe Rogan talk about this. The giraffes don't give a fuck. They seem really happy. Because, like, a giraffe, what do they do in the wild? They eat leaves and they walk around. In captivity, they worry about getting eaten by lions. But in captivity, they're just eating leaves and walking around. They don't have to worry about lions. It's got to be pretty cool. Like, that wouldn't be too bad.
Probably just depends on the amount of space at that point that they have to walk
I
around.
guess. I mean, I love the Omaha Zoo. I'm not hating on zoos.
I like
hate
the zoos
SeaWorld.
that I like the zoos that are like actually doing stuff for like conservation efforts too, though. They like donate some of their like profit to conservation efforts, and they like are trying to like save endangered animals in the wild to
you're
like
welcome,
bring them
Cody.
back.
Because as a hunter, I also fucking donate lots of money.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
all my licenses I buy every year, which is upwards of $200, most of that money goes to conservation. People don't know that. But hunters pay more for conservation than anybody.
Yeah. Oh, I actually did
Anybody.
know that. Because a lot of the people I know who I'm like, who would argue with me about guns are just like, did you know? It's like,
We take care of the fucking environment. We try anyway. For the most part, there are some really.
I was gonna
people.
say some hunters are like a good, like I would like to believe a good portion of hunters.
Well, I got really
But-
down on hunting for a little while, for a couple of years. Like, I was still, of course, I'd shoot a deer every year, but I was kind of getting down on it just because the people I was hunting with, like one person in specific, it seemed like he was so in it for the bloodlust, like that I just want to be killing stuff all the time. And that's not what I'm out there to do. And it's like, we bow hunted and he wounded a deer and we're trying to find it, and like we look for like 30 minutes and then he's like, fuck this, we'll just go shoot another one. And I'm like, okay, motherfucker,
Yeah.
no, you're done hunting now because you just shot a deer. You didn't kill it, but we did end up finding it, for the record. I found it because I'm fucking Mr. Outdoorsman Professional.
David.
Literally walked into my neighbor's grove of trees out by the farm, and I found a little tiny speck of blood on a fucking blade of grass. And from there, I was able to fucking find more and find the fucking deer. Like, some real cool shit. And I think it was all because I was really high. Because we went back to the farm, we chilled for a little bit, and I got super stoned. And then we went out there, and I was just like,
There it is.
McGruff the crime dog, like, on it. But yeah, no, that attitude really made me feel bad about hunting. But it was because I felt like it was like I was being the same way, even though I wasn't.
I've never been hunting in my life.
I don't shoot pheasants. Why? Because I don't eat pheasants, and I don't have any interest in shooting them. Like, I'm not out there just to shoot things. That's what drove me nuts. It's like, I'm not going out to just shoot an animal just to shoot it. I think that's ridiculous. It's like,
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to admit, yes, I love to shoot a deer with
kind of what
big
fishing
antlers,
is.
but I still eat the fucker. And it's like, I'm getting food from it, so there's a point for me to shoot it. For me to just shoot a pheasant and then throw it in the back of my truck and let it fucking rot, or throw it on a dead pile, that's stupid. I mean, there has to be a purpose for me to shoot an animal, otherwise I feel really horrible about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like fishing.
Oh yeah, I'm a big catch and release unless I'm planning on eating them.
Yeah, overfishing is a huge problem.
It is, and like South Dakota, you have your biggest problem is this out-of-state motherfuckers come in, and they'll be here and they just load up on them, and they'll be eating them all day, and they'll stay here for a week, and they'll eat a bunch of them in the morning, so then they catch more in the afternoon. I shouldn't blame the out-of-staters. Everybody does it, but
Well, and a lot of our shit here is like artificial, anyways, like artificial man-made lakes and stuff. But
not all. We have the Missouri. We have the fucking river, dude.
oh yeah, true. But
But
I was thinking
Oahe is the second, third, something like that, biggest man-made reservoir in all North America.
I believe that.
So that's pretty sweet. That's fun to fish on too. Huge. Like, I was looking at a map of the United States today. Not a lot of people have a river as wide as us in the United States. Like,
I believe it. Missouri's pretty wide.
oh fuck, there's points on it where you can get out in the middle and you can't really barely see the shore either way.
Mm-hmm.
And other than Lake Michigan, like, I don't know what the fuck you're getting on something like that. Lake Erie and those. But those are natural.
I was talking more like there's no like fish can't like there's no like huge ass fish out there really anymore.
Oh
Because,
bullshit!
like-
I catch big fish.
Well, like I was watching it was some like Discovery Channel Nat Geo shit. Like it was either that show River Monsters or a show very similar to
That
River Monsters.
is crazy. Catches some
And it
weird
was
shit.
like yeah.
I feel like it has to be staged, but there's no way. Where are you finding that fish unless you catch it in the wild?
Yeah, exactly. So but they're like some of the episodes are talking about how like it could be regular for things to grow that size, but the rate at which we fish and like cause like the way we like affect the environment, things die off a lot sooner than they like are allowed to naturally live sometimes, like turtles and stuff. And like so there's no like super huge shit like 100-year-old like fish really anymore.
Yeah,
Because they don't live that long anymore. But
I don't
like,
know how long a walleye lives in it.
no,
anyway.
I'm not, but not like walleye. I'm talking like
Fucking, I don't
like
fish
sturgeon,
in the ocean, Cody.
Like sturgeon, like
I'm not out fishing on the fucking
know.
saltwater, Cody.
I was just saying over.
Gotta be.
I was just talking about fishing in general, bro.
Local fish, dude.
I don't give a shit about South Dakota, bro.
I love South Dakota,
Catch
man.
bullshit ass like fucking bullheads all night.
Bullheads, bullshit, walleyes. We got some of the best walleye fishing in the world here in South Dakota.
I caught a pretty good northern one time when I was young.
It's like a worthless fish, Cody.
Garbage.
It
was huge though. It was like super long.
But
it was bigger than I was at the point of when I caught it.
Dude, if you have anything you want to look up on your fucking tablet right now, I'm gonna use the restroom. So you're gonna.
You're a little bitch, dude.
I am, but you know.
This guy has the fucking bladder of a woman.
Pregnant woman.
Ridiculous. So now I gotta like fill this empty time with something, and I don't know what to talk about. He's got some stuff written down. Let's see what he's got. NRA speech. There hasn't been any mass shootings lately, has there? I don't think so. Oh, if anybody didn't know, I don't know how legitimate the lawsuit itself is, but there is a lawsuit for Sandy Hook being falsified right now. Like someone's suing someone else. I don't remember if it's like the government or what, for setting up Sandy Hook for being a false flag. Like, I don't know how like legitimate the lawsuit is. I don't know if it'll like actually be like a winning case or anything at all. But I thought that was interesting. I don't know what to think about that stuff, so it could go either way in my mind, personally. Like, it's pretty wild. I don't know. I just was like, I looked at your fucking thing, so I was just talking about.
So you were handling it. It sounded like I was gonna tell you to load a bull, but I didn't want to just like be screaming.
I was just
closed studio, and there's a lot of other people doing lots of good work here, so we want to make sure we're quiet.
I was talking about. Apparently, there's like someone filed a lawsuit saying that Sandy Hook was a false flag. I don't remember who they were suing, like the government or something.
False flag? Like, what do you mean?
Like the government or the FBI or some arm of the government, like, set up Sandy Hook.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've heard conspiracies about that before.
So I don't know how legitimate the lawsuit itself is. Like, I don't know if it has any backbones, but I thought it was interesting.
Anytime kids like are getting murdered at school, I just feel like I'm not even trying to find a conspiracy theory about that.
No, the thing is, like, they're trying to say, like, there's no actual reports of those kids dying or anything.
Now, I have seen the thing where, like, one of the moms they interviewed apparently has been interviewed for other tragedies. One of those things. But I don't believe that shit usually when I read it.
Dude, I've seen some very interesting pictures about crisis actors, so I don't... Like, that shit just has me, like, freaked out.
Well, I saw this thing the other day about, even back in the day during, like, your Teamsters unions and shit like that, like, people protesting, trying to get 40-hour work week and all that shit. Like, that they used to, even back in the day, hire people, plainclothes police officers mainly, to go into the crowds and start fights and break shit to make, so then they can bring out the fire hoses and wipe everybody out.
I was going to say, in Britain, the police actually, it went so far as to, like, have relationships and, like, get married and have kids with the political activists and shit to keep an eye on that.
I did see that one.
That's like a thing.
Oh yeah, it happens a lot. Like,
and it's like declassified, I guess.
Well, Barack Obama's mom was in the CIA.
Yeah, she
was basically just a hooker.
That's why there's like a whole bunch of.
And that's why you don't know for sure who his dad is. But he definitely was born in America.
That's why there's a whole bunch of conspiracy theories about him.
Because they think there's that one guy, I can't think of his fucking name. I can't think of his name, but he looks like Obama a lot more than his dad does. And that's the guy they think is his dad. But I mean, really, who gives a shit? Anderson Cooper was in the CIA too. A lot of people you don't realize were in the CIA. I mean,
Well, and
there's
most of those,
always
like
shit.
Bush and stuff.
Oh fuck, George Bush Senior, his dad. Fucking can't think of his first name right now off the top of my head. Should look it up. The George Bush Senior's dad, though, he was a big bank executive, and he was part of the keeping money for the Nazis. He funded the money for the Nazis or floated through the bank, the World Bank.
I think they have some relation to Aleister Crowley too.
Yeah, that sounds something like I've heard it before.
But I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head. So that could just be some crazy conspiracy shit I read one time.
So another fun one I heard, the owner of Texaco back during World War II he was a fascist, and he pledged all the oil Italy could ever want to back them. So Mussolini in Italy.
Prescott Bush?
Yeah, Prescott. That's him. That son of a bitch.
And then Bush Jr. was Skull and Bones. And Skull and Bones is has ties to British intelligence agencies.
Skull and Bones. I've never heard of that.
You don't know wow, I thought that was it's like one of those like secret men club things that like
yeah, see, I don't look into that stuff too much for being rich and privileged, kind of basically.
Yeah. And a bunch of politicians, in important places were involved in like Skull and Bones and stuff. But it actually has like ties to British intelligence, so it's like they're working for the United States, but they're also working for Britain. They like feed information back to there. So I don't know if like Bush would be like directly involved in that, but like maybe people he hangs out with siphon off information.
Yeah.
But that shit is always like weird to me too.
Yes, I've never looked too much into those like rich people groups and societies and stuff like that. It's just never been a big like. I mean, they're weird, and I realize they exist, and I just don't. I mean, fuck, I'm not gonna go out looking for them like Alex Jones filming at the
Bohemian
Grove. Oh my god, that's some weird shit too. If you listen to that guy talking, what a fucking bunch of weirdos. Oh.
Yeah, fucking Walter Cronkite's just like saying a bunch of shit in the video.
Walter Cronkite, I used to like him too until I saw that. God, like he used to be a real reporter in Vietnam. He's out there taking bullets.
It's like fuck, man. How the mighty have fallen?
Right.
But fuck, I was gonna say something else, but I don't remember what I was gonna say now. Oh, I don't even look that shit up. I just
look what up.
Like the secret society stuff. Oh. That's just like information I've gathered from just reading Reddit comments about other stuff.
See, I just got into Reddit. I've never been a Reddit guy before you finally fucking sent me that conspiracy shit.
Yeah,
or not conspiracy.
It's crazy,
it's not
dude.
Conspiracy shit because it's declassified government info. So it's
yeah,
automatic.
Yeah,
I mean, that's real. So it's like, it's real. Which, by the way, my favorite out of all those, Operation Sea Spray. Because it's very relevant to what's going on.
Was that the one where in San Francisco or San Diego or something they like
San Francisco Bay Area?
Yeah, they like poisoned a bunch of people, and then the people tried to sue the government, and they said it was like
fuck that, can't do that.
Yeah, they were like, no, it's the government's right to poison you.
Another one I read on there, I was looking at the other day. I thought this was a really cool one, and they had the link for it, so I know it was a legit one. We dumped a bunch of mosquitoes in Georgia because we were trying to see if we could spread yellow fever through mosquitoes. And they were dumping them out of the back of a plane, which I just think would be hilarious.
I think that would be like a funny sight.
Right? I mean, how do you even collect that many mosquitoes into like a bag, or I don't know what the fuck you're doing to release them.
Yeah, like
it just sounds so weird, but it's hilarious because apparently in Georgia somewhere, because they didn't release it over a big enough area like they thought they were going to, somewhere now in Georgia they have just mad mosquitoes. Really big mosquito problem.
Yeah, it's just like...
So I think that's hilarious. Or the gay bomb. That was a fun one. You read that one? They're trying to make some kind of bomb filled with like estrogen and shit so you can
I think I did read that one.
You can make your enemy troops gay.
Or the one that was the like the nuke that didn't go off in Carolina, North
Dude,
Carolina.
we had one that we almost, yeah, that one, because the B2 or B-52 crashed. It fell apart, disintegrated in the air. I read
And
that one.
Yeah, the only reason the bomb didn't go off is because one of the
last one.
One of the 4 trigger releases didn't pull.
Yeah, and then the
only reason North Carolina is in a fucking crater.
Yeah, well, we did that in Spain too. Basically the same thing. Same thing, except it was like they sank to the bottom. They were on a ship or something, or a submarine or something, and they sank. So we had to pull them out of the fucking water, but they almost detonated right off the coast of Spain.
Oh, damn, I didn't know that.
So we'd have fucked a bunch of stuff up.
Something interesting I read in that same thread about Spain was that the Catholic Church in Spain, for like a few generations, would like take babies from poor like families and stuff.
Oh, and they sold them.
Yeah,
and they told them their kids died.
Yeah,
That's horrible.
So there's like generations of like kids who don't know, like not even know who their real family is and like stuff, and like brothers who don't know their sister, and like
that. I mean, it doesn't even surprise me, but it's still really awful. And it's really unfortunate that it doesn't surprise me anymore, because that's just, I mean,
they justified it by like the whole mindset of like, oh, I'm taking this kid from like a poor, like destitute, sinning family to like a holy, righteous, like well-to-do Catholic family.
Oh, so I didn't read it at all. I just kind of read the head notes. But so they were trying to, since you had a child, you were fucking too unfit to take care of the child.
Yeah, it was like the unwashed masses kind of.
Are you pro-choice, Cody?
Like, yeah, I mean, yeah. Whether to say I would personally encourage someone that I got pregnant to get an abortion, I don't know. I've never been in that situation, so I don't like. I can't honestly say.
You were almost in that situation, but
almost,
yeah.
but I was. But it was too late to get an abortion at that point.
Oh goodness! Now I heard some dude spieling some shit the other day on Joe Rogan. It's the first time I've ever really like had a opposing opinion on this, but dude was all talking about where he's almost down with after birth abortions, and I was like, whoo, that's baby killing, boy. You need to calm down. It's some not British, he's some fucking Australian guy on the Joe Rogan show. But yeah, that was a little far for me.
Jim Jeffries?
I don't know what the fuck his name was, but he was a little goofball. I was just, I mean, my views on abortion are different than some people, but I'm definitely, like, still, if it looks like a kid at all, I think you keep it.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a point in pregnancy where it's, like, past the point of, like,
no return. Like, it's gotta happen. But I don't even want to talk about that shit. That's just controversial crap. And not because we're men, because men are allowed to have an opinion on that, unlike some people believe. But there's better things we could be talking about. I drove through a DUI checkpoint the other day.
Yeah, you were telling me that. I remember. How does that work?
Yeah, I wasn't drinking at all, so it didn't matter at all. But I was driving into town, and like dudes like waving you through because you're coming into town, so they know you're not drinking. But they were fucking dude next to me was going to jail. I'm pretty sure because they had him blow, and I was rolling up like 5 miles an hour, and they were just having him get out of the car when the dude was like, "You can just go."
All right.
Because I was just gonna roll through, and then I was like, "Ooh, I don't want to take a chance that I'm not supposed to," because he was like waving me through.
Yeah.
But I still rolled down my window, and I was like, "Am I good to go?" Because I'm white. They wouldn't have shot me, but they might have chased me down and pulled me over. Definitely wouldn't have shot me, though. I mean, I've been pulled over tons of times with guns laying out in plain sight where I could grab them, and nobody even gets nervous.
Yeah, it is actually down in Texas last week, or even in the last couple days, I think there was it was like these 4, it was a group of black black kids, and I think it was like 4 brothers or something.
Oh, leaving that party?
Yeah, and the cop just like blew that kid's head off, basically.
Well, from what I understood, and I mean, you could look up the article if you wanted to on it, just to make sure we're doing the right facts on it. But from what I understood, originally, it was reported that the vehicle, it was just him and his brother. And the kids weren't even drinking or anything at this party, which is the real sad thing. It's like they weren't even, apparently, they were just being loud. They weren't even doing anything other than being loud. And they're leaving the party, and the initial report was that the car backed up towards the police in an aggressive manner. And then the police chief watched some video, and God bless that guy. Like, I mean, I shouldn't say that, I guess, but like, not because I'm against police, but because I guess being an atheist, you shouldn't say God bless, I guess. But kudos to him, because that guy fucking watched those videos and decided to not try to cover it up and just went ahead and said, no, they shot at a car that was driving away from them. And apparently he shot at it with an AR-15. So he just like unloaded on it with an assault rifle in a fucking neighborhood. So like, I mean, if you know anything about guns, you don't shoot a goddamn high-powered rifle off in a fucking neighborhood. One of those bullets misses and it hits a house, it's going into that house and it's gonna kill somebody if it hits them.
Yeah, dude, and it's like,
that's silly.
It hit him from the side, which is just crazy.
Oh, it just, and I mean, from what I understood too, just totally like took his head right off, JFK style. Like,
yeah, and
really awful. He's like 13, 15, whatever the fuck he was.
Yeah. 15.
That shit's rough, because I mean, there's absolutely no reason to open up on a car just because it's driving away from you fast. Like, what? Go fucking crash into it if you're that yacked up, like that you need to do something. Go fucking hit the car. Don't shoot it. And I'm not a cop, and I'll be the first to admit I'm 100% not qualified to be a cop. I wouldn't want to have that job. I don't think anybody's really qualified to have that fucking job.
What job?
Being a police officer. It's hard.
No,
I would never. I can't be a police officer. It's the most difficult fucking job you could almost think of. Like, because really the things you have to deal with, it's like you go
the
dealing
only
with
people
the
who
horrible
want that
people over and over and over and over again, and then still you just eventually you're thinking everybody sucks.
80% of the people that want that kind of job aren't the people that should have that kind of job anyway.
And that's the problem too. I think any time I've ever met any ex-military person who's been in a war zone, who's a police officer, is a fantastic police officer. I mean, they are always just the police officers I would always want to have, like, looking out for me. Because they handle shit way better. Because once you've been in combat, I just feel like, and I think they think the same thing, like, anything over here is nothing. You know? Because that combat's completely different. I mean, and like Iraq, they were basically just being police inside of a state that we had taken over. I mean, that's all it really was. With the roadblocks and everything, and they're making split decisions on not shooting somebody driving towards a roadblock when they could have a car bomb. I mean, if you can make that decision, I think you're definitely qualified to be a police officer.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult, man.
What do you got going over there now?
I'm just trying to read the specifics.
I wish we could pull it up on the screen. That's what we need to do.
It's too technologically advanced for me.
Well, I mean, we definitely could. If you pulled it up. But I don't know if it'd show on the video at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how to, Apparently the officer who shot him is fired.
Yeah, I did see that. Hey, did you see the thing? Our fucking fire chief here in Sioux Falls, they fired him right when he was about to retire.
I don't think I saw that.
Oh yeah, last night they searched his house. DCI served a search warrant on his house.
For what?
They won't say.
Of course.
But yeah, they served a search warrant on his house, and then he got fired like 2-3 hours later. He was just about to retire too.
I wonder how much that pension
Yeah,
was.
that's kind of what I was thinking. It's like, you take away his pension, that's the time to do it.
Especially if it's pretty sizable.
Well, he's like 35 years on the fire department. I'd imagine he's got a good one coming. Like,
Well, I feel bad
fire
for him
chief.
if that's the case, man.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's like I shouldn't even brought it up because we don't really know any details yet. But
I would be interested to know what they found and what they had the warrant for in the first place.
yeah, no shit. You talking about LSD, Cody?
I think we talked about that stabbing in our last one.
Oh, did we?
I think so.
I didn't even care. Like, I was just trying to bring up LSD in general. I didn't want to bring up the stabbing. It's like I haven't taken psychedelics in quite a while. I mean,
Me neither. I've been wanting to do some mushrooms.
yeah, I've been thinking about it. It's like I might go out to the farm this weekend and do some mushrooms. That'd be fun.
Doing them tonight. I should have done it before I came here.
That would have been interesting. That would make an interesting podcast, but I mean, I wouldn't sit very well.
No,
I'd
I would be
think
very
about
like
stuff to go
fidgety
do.
and stuff.
Well, it's not even fidgety. I'd just be like, "Oh shit, this," and then I'm out of the room because I thought of something else. I'm gone. You
Yeah, or
know,
you'd like go to the bathroom and get lost for fucking an hour.
yeah, or forget that we're even doing this. Like, fucking leave. Yeah, if we get lost for an hour and I'm like, forgot we were doing the podcast. Not quite that bad, but it could happen.
It's been like hour and 20, so I don't know like how long we can keep going. We can.
Oh, hell yeah, we got plenty of stuff to go on. It's just a little bit of a lull. Let's fucking load up another bowl here and I'll get myself fired up here. But, like, one of my least favorite things I wanted to bring up on this is Donald Trump. So, like, first 100 days, my biggest pet peeve is, like, he had just this solid, gonna get rid of the health care, or Obamacare, which is the Affordable Care Act. I don't know why they keep calling it Obamacare, because it's not. Obama's gone. So it's the Affordable Care Act. But they're trying to get rid of it, and he said in his first 100 days it was going to be replaced with something a million times better. The best idea. I have the best people working on it. We've got the best fucking health plan. We don't have anything. They keep turning it down. They can't get it pushed through. They blame Congress, but it's like the majority is there on both sides, the House and Congress.
The problem is Paul Ryan.
Or House and Senate, sorry. Paul Ryan. What does Paul Ryan have to do with it?
That's his health plan. That was his health plan.
Oh, he wrote it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, exactly, because it's a garbage idea. I absolutely hate Paul Ryan so much.
Trash.
Like, I mean,
he's as bad as like any Clinton or anything, pretty much. I don't know if he's
like
killed as many people.
He's like Mitch McConnell, but he's younger. Just an ignorant asshole. Thinks he knows what's up. And he's probably, sure, I'll give him credit. He went to school or something, I'm guessing. So he's probably a little smarter than me in certain things. But he is as a human being, he's a grade A asshole, because you have those people who come up to him, and I've seen videos of it, and they specifically tell him, if you put in your new healthcare plan, I'm not going to have health coverage. I need that health coverage because I'm fucking dying. And if I don't get it, I'm going to die. And if you put in your new health plan, I'm going to lose all my coverage and I can't afford to pay for it on my own. And then what do you end up with? He's like, well, we're going to work through that with you and we're going to try to figure that stuff out. Like, he doesn't give two motherfucking shits.
Just like brushes it off, yeah.
No, he doesn't care at all. Like, I mean, you can
something.
tell him that you're going to die and he's just like, well, as long as it's cheap for the state, I would like you to die in this way. I mean, he's just a fucking asshole.
I was reading something pretty interesting yesterday that said, and it's like I kind of knew this, but I never really thought about it. But like laws and stuff aren't written by members of Congress anymore.
Oh no, they're written by ALEC mostly. ALEC's a big one. Have you heard of ALEC?
No, but they're written by
well, they're written by
political
lobbying groups that.
Well, they're actually written by like lawyers and shit.
Well,
who
yeah,
are paid by
lawyers,
like corporations, and then the corporations then have paid lobbyists, who take those laws written by these lawyers.
Yeah, but
and
ALEC's a
try
big
to,
one.
like,
I mean, there's videos Ted Cruz standing. I stand with ALEC. Like, they write laws for him, and then they'll, like, there's videos of it. They have a law come in, and it'll have, like, an ALEC letterhead on it, because they didn't even fucking, like, go ahead and change it. They just took the ALEC bill and put it into place. Or, like, they'll write it out where it's, like, insert name of state here. So then the senator just writes in the name of their state.
Yep.
I mean, it's sad as fuck. Ronald Reagan started it, apparently. I don't know if that's true, but I mean, you know,
I have no trouble believing that.
I'm not gonna make you read shit about ALEC, but ALEC's pretty bad because they wrote.
He's an ALEC award winner.
Oh, okay. But the
So that's a good sign.
yeah, because that Bill Clinton's crime bill.
Same with HW.
Bill Clinton's crime bill that he regrets putting through was an ALEC crime bill. Stand Your Ground. Where
Wait, who put that through?
ALEC. That's
No, who regrets putting it through?
Oh, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's crime bill that he sent so many people to jail.
I just stopped the video.
And Cody
recording.
just fucked up our video.
No.
So I'm gonna make him fix that now, I guess.
I don't think I'll have to like start a new one. Fuck.
All right, well, do that real quick. I guess. Don't fucking yes.
No, I'm gonna save it.
God, man, we got some amateur hour going on here, but that's all right.
So fuck me.
But no, yeah. So I mean, stand your ground too with the regards to Trayvon Martin. That was an ALEC bill that they passed.
Oh, okay.
So 6 minutes it's gonna take to save that. Cody, look what you goddamn did.
Yeah, I'm fucking trash. Oh, now it's gonna be about 7 minutes.
Maybe you should pause that recording real quick.
Yeah, hopefully it'll work like that.
It should, right?
All right, nice.
All right, so yeah, that Clinton crime bill, like the one that he really regretted putting through, was basically just the biggest part of it was that 3 strikes and you're out bullshit. And
yeah.
Ended up getting a lot of people locked up for that. But that's all really that was.
Wait, wasn't that Clinton?
Yeah, Clinton. What did I say?
Oh, sorry, I thought you said Reagan.
I might have said Reagan.
I was
Reagan's
looking at
bad
Reagan
guy
on
too.
On the iPad, so I might have just.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
No, I know Reagan started like the drug war for the most part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Nixon started it, but Reagan really pushed it.
Yeah, he like went overboard.
Yeah. So that's kind of.
Well, the whole Iran Contras and shit was happening under Reagan.
Yeah. Dude, disappointed they got rid of the show Doomsday Preppers. I haven't seen new ones of that in a long time. I always got a kick out of that.
I've literally never seen that show.
Oh, it's funny. It's just these weird people like
who just have go overboard on like apocalypse.
Yeah, and like there's like the one dude I specifically always think of is like, or 2 of them I guess, is like there's this one fat dude who's like all preparing, but he weighs like 400 pounds. It's like, motherfucker, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, where
you
are you gonna
run
go,
from
dude?
anything? No, you're not. You're too fat. Which is another thing. Why? When did it become okay to be fat in this country, but it's not okay to be skinny? I have a real personal problem with this, because anywhere I go, where I go see somebody who I haven't seen in a long time, and their first comment, "Wow, you're still so skinny. You need to eat." It's like, I eat more than you. I don't understand why.
I don't know why people
being
give
fat,
a shit.
Like, this isn't China, where it's like really cool.
Yeah, if I went up to you and went like, "Whoa, you're fucking fat as shit. You should stop eating."
Yeah,
like,
that's definitely a no-go. That's insensitive.
I would be like a piece of shit.
That's very insensitive, Cody.
And I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't be a piece of shit for doing that, but like
Well,
the person seen as like saying whatever to a skinny person, they wouldn't necessarily like most people.
Skinny shaming's totally accepted.
Yeah, most
it's
people
like
who are not that skinny person would be like, "Oh, that's a totally whatever thing to say."
Well, yeah, they just. I mean, most people assume that it's like one that you're skinny by choice, and then it's like your life is much better off for being skinny. It's like, no, it's definitely not. Like, I got bones that jab chicks when I cuddle with them and shit. It's like there's problems.
I don't give a shit if you're fat, but just like realize there are like health complications to go along with that, and that you should have to pay extra for having to deal with all that.
Yeah, and buy 2 plane seats because I don't want you flapping over into me.
Yeah, and you're putting like extra stress on everything. They
Oh.
like charge like fat people like extra for ambulance rides and stuff.
Yeah, they've been starting to do that. They have to get extra special beds for them, special seatbelt extenders, because apparently a fucking really long seatbelt isn't enough for some people's fat guts. Like, I don't even know. I mean, I'm just about max the seatbelt out, tightening it up. It's like I can't even imagine going the other way with it. I could just fucking jump rope with it.
That's what even me, dude.
Right? No, yeah, and I'm not saying I'm just exceptionally
But like, yeah.
skinny.
But no, they're just like super large.
Yeah, and I saw this lady on Family Feud the other day, and her legs were like little chicken legs, and then it was just like 400 pounds on top of those. I was like, your poor legs.
When I worked at like fast food in high school, I remember this guy used to come for like Sunday morning breakfast all the time, and it was funny because he was like so fat. In his little car, he would like, his seat was all the way pushed back, and his chair was all the way leaned back, basically, and then his steering wheel was all the way up, and everything was still like just like squeezed in there.
Well, they see that in a lot of like car accidents with fat people. There'll be food all over the fucking
was
car
super
because they were
funny, man.
eating. They're always eating in their fucking cars. Oh, it's terrible. Like, I couldn't. I mean,
Pretty funny.
being tall, I can get into tiny cars no problem. But like being fat on top of that, man, that'd be rough. You have a problem with your mic?
I feel like I'm talking into it the right way, but I was just like questioning it.
I'm just glad mine says back, so I know I'm talking into it the right way.
Oh yeah, I'm talking into it the right way.
So since we got Donald Trump America now and everybody's allowed to have guns again, what are your feelings on the gun control, Cody? We need more of it, less of it?
I don't know.
Definitely need more of it, because Donald Trump just passed that now we don't, if you're fucking insane, like mental illness isn't disqualify you for buying a gun.
Someone tried to argue with me one time against that by saying the argument was, well, who determines who's insane? I was like, same fucking people who still determine who's insane right now.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
There's already people for that job.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't understand why just you would ever, anybody thinks that's a good idea. That somebody who's been declared mentally insane or whatever can totally buy a gun.
They can like get any other thing. Or they can still get a gun somewhere else.
Well, yeah, you can. You definitely can. You can get guns anywhere, but that's not the point.
But then these same
for you
people
to just
would be
make
like,
it okay.
I don't want you to be able to legally buy heroin.
Well, you can legally buy heroin at the pharmacy.
Well, yeah.
In form of Oxycontin.
If you're told, your pain's good enough. But I mean, like, they would like, if I was trying to say we should legalize heroin, they would argue against that because, like, what if a heroin addict raped their kid or something? I don't know.
I don't know if you have enough energy.
But like
I've seen people on. I've never done it, but I've seen people on heroin. They're really low energy people.
Some dumb shit they would do, and that they would just argue some dumb shit like that, and like, it's like, okay, but your argument for like against gun control is that people could get them anyways. But like, that's the same thing with drugs. Like it's the exact same thing. People are gonna do these drugs anyways because they're already doing these drugs.
Oh
anyways.
Yeah, I mean it's nothing slows you down. Absolutely.
Man, I hope I'm not talking that quiet. Fuck.
It's kind of been weird. It goes up and down. Like sometimes I feel like I'm really screaming at people, and then sometimes I feel like I'm not talking loud enough. So I don't know. I'm just trying to keep it up because I feel like louder's better.
So. Fuck. I don't think my mic is on.
Your mic's off?
Hello?
It's showing up.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I was turning my gain way too down.
Jesus. You got some amateur hour shit going on here. My mic's working just fine. It's just a little delayed. It picked up our recording too right after the pause. Like, I don't even think it spaced it.
I don't think so either.
Because it's got the time the same and everything. So that's cool. Probably get towards the end of it anyway, eh?
God damn it.
It's like,
Okay, I think. Alright. Should be fucking.
seen a little bit. There you are.
Should be back now.
You still got to give me. We're talking opinions on spirits from another,
Or like ghosts
in the
and shit?
afterlife. Yeah.
Okay, so I personally don't believe. I've never had like a paranormal experience that has ever been like, whoa, what was that? But my whole belief about everything is like, whatever like a person thinks kind of projects itself into the universe. So like, it's kind of like the idea that if you think positive things are more likely to be attracted.
Yeah, law of attraction.
Yeah, and if you like think
that,
negative things are more likely to happen. So I think it's kind of like that. And so the people who would maybe believe in paranormal experiences would go somewhere that they are
Just turn your gain up a little bit. Coming in a little low. I don't want people to miss
fuck,
it.
dude. And now I'm coming in like super loud. I don't know. I hope I haven't been like super quiet the whole time. That would fucking be gay.
Yeah.
But so someone who believes in paranormal experiences and is going into a place that they would maybe expect to have paranormal experiences in would have paranormal experiences.
Yeah, just
But
like you psych yourself into it.
Say I go into that place, I would maybe not have that same experience as someone else.
Yeah, it's
because I'm like skeptical and I just wouldn't like notice it, or like it wouldn't be real for me. And I think that's kind of the same thing for like people's like religions and everything. So like whatever a person believes is like real for them.
Yeah. No, it's kind of that. I mean, it's like being hypnotized. It's like if you believe in it and you think it's gonna happen, you get hypnotized.
Yeah,
but I've
yeah.
always said I'm pretty sure if
I don't know if I could ever be like hypnotized.
Yeah, if I went to a hypnotist, I'm pretty sure I would fucking
See, now
not
it looks
be hypnotized.
like I'm just yelling at people.
Yeah, it's like you got to really get that
Fuck,
sweet
dude.
spot. And it's a little delayed too, so that kind of fucks.
Yeah,
up.
I know. I can't tell.
But yeah, that believing in the ghosts really makes it hard being an atheist, because it's like, well, if there's ghosts, well then what the fuck? Obviously there's some kind of afterlife for some people, maybe. I don't know. It's very complicated. But I've definitely had some like incidents where I felt like I saw a ghost or encountered a ghost, and I totally buy it. Like, I totally think it's possible and it's real. But who knows? Like you said, I could just be psyching myself up into it at the same time too.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never like experienced anything like that. So
yeah, it's
and like
weird. And
like
then
people try to do stupid shit with like Ouija boards and stuff.
See,
And it's just
the
never.
Ouija boards are
No one's
stupid.
ever had me to the point where it's like, dude, I'm like 100% sure you're pushing this shit right now. Like, come on.
Yeah, the Ouija boards are weird, and then but I've heard a lot of stories, really believable stories anyway. And maybe I'm just a little gullible on because I want to believe it, but it's just like the alien things. Like, I can hear some alien stories, or like a lot of the people, like our alien sightings have gone up recently. Have you noticed that? They've been going way up since Donald Trump became president.
I've not noticed that, so I guess.
I guess I shouldn't say I noticed it personally. It's not like I track it, but I read something about that they've gone way the fuck up.
That's pretty funny.
Nobody ever gets it on video though, so
Of course they don't.
I'm always skeptical.
Okay, so there's this thing called the Fermi paradox, and it's like, so the universe is like infinite, obviously, and in that infinite expanse, there's a lot of stars like the sun that probably have planets similar to the Earth, and assuming those planets have capable means that life would develop there, and so like, if there has been like other intelligent life in the universe, like the chances are that something would have probably contacted us by now. And so his whole thing was like, well, where is everybody? Like, where?
Well, I've kind of heard something similar to that before too.
But my thing, I read something interesting the other day called the transcension hypothesis. And what it is basically is that species evolves to like on the correct evolutionary path. It evolves to a point of instead seeking outer space, they like look towards like inner space, and like as to us viewing it outside from a third party, that is what like a black hole would be. Because it's like infinitely like dense, and like it's supposed to be like the idea that it's like so
talking to the mic,
so like, here, I'll look it up. I can't like remember specifically.
So like, what do you? I mean, just give me something to go off of here. So you're talking about how dense the universe is. Like that argument that, I mean, it's so much out there that they would have found us by now and started talking to us. Like, I can totally see it the opposite of that, where it's, why would they want to come talk to us when we're not as evolved as them? When we're still doing really, really medieval, horrible shit to each other here, and they've probably moved past all that, or at least on to better ways of doing it, and they just don't deem us worthy of a visit, I guess.
Or I could see the government like covering it up or some shit. Like,
well, yeah, you got your Area 51 shit, and I mean, there's possibilities that they have came and we just fucking scared them away. Who knows? It's like, you get scared away if like you see your dead buddies getting put on fucking government tables and cut open and stuff. It's like, I'm not gonna come back down there.
For sure.
It's It's weird though that the alien stuff. I've never had anything where I've thought I spotted a UFO or anything of the sort.
Not one time.
And I spend a lot of time outdoors and out in remote areas where it's supposed to happen. And it's like, I totally welcome it, because apparently nobody ever gets killed. They just fucking disappear for a little while. I have heard, like, there was one of those things on that list of declassified government things about how they talked to somebody, the CIA interviewed this couple who they were driving along for a really long, and all of a sudden, like, they don't remember what happened, but they were back on the same spot of the road like 4 or 5 hours later.
Weird.
And they put them under the influence of like LSD or something like that, or maybe they I think it was maybe they,
jokes on us, that's the CIA,
right? But I think actually they hypnotized him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they hypnotized him, and but the man was all talking about how the aliens were probing him and all sorts of crazy shit while he was hypnotized. So it's really interesting. It's like, it's not 100% like out of the realm of possibilities that there are aliens out wandering around or viewing us and picking people up. Like, everybody's always dismissed instantly as a lunatic if they say they got abducted, but it's really possible it could happen. Like, they're not just insane because something happened to them that you've never heard of before. But what do I know? I've never been abducted. You find any good shit on there?
Basically just what I was saying. It doesn't like know necessarily what would be inside the black hole that the evolutionary species would have gone to, because it's like beyond our understanding, kind of, is the argument. But like, it's like, I was just reading it. It would be a computationally optimal domain of increasingly dense, productive, miniaturized, and efficient scales of space, time, energy, and matter. But whatever that means, I don't really.
That's a little deep for me. That's some Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about there being more than one infinity kind of shit. It's a little hard for me to follow.
It's like, all right, whatever you say, man.
Well, he definitely knows better than I. That's what I
That's
always
what they
say
say.
about that. Oh, I mean, I can't argue it. It's like he definitely knows better than I.
Fuck, dude.
What's the problem?
I don't know. I don't know what to talk about.
Hey, give me your opinion on the JFK assassination, Cody. What is your honest to God belief on the JFK assassination? And you should totally load one more bowl so we can talk about the JFK assassination right.
Wilkes Booth.
Because
Booth killed him.
Now, Wilkes Booth would have been dead a
No,
fucking
sorry,
long time ago.
That's Lincoln, right?
Wilkes
right,
Booth
right.
shot Abraham Lincoln.
Lincoln, right.
Goodness sakes, Cody, do we need to have a history
I'm
lesson?
sorry. I can't believe I just disgraced myself like that.
Because I'm not saying I know anything exceptional, because anything I know, like,
who was
about the JFK assassination, like anything I know about anything, I learned from other people who figured it out. And that's all really.
I just read third party.
That's like my favorite Joe Rogan thing. Smart people is people who have fucking memorized a lot of things other smart people figured out. And that's really all it boils down to. And that's one thing I've been good at, is like history and such. I can remember a lot of stupid shit from history. And that's been very helpful. But, I mean, I don't remember shit I don't want to remember, too, which is interesting. It's like people talk about short-term memory loss and memory loss. I think you remember things if you want to remember them. If it feels important to you. Like, when you read something and it hits you like, oh, wow, that's really important and people should know that. I remember it. Those declassified government documents. Like, I fucking read them one time and I remember them. Because I know it's important.
I've always just like absorbed information like sponge like.
If I watch it in a movie, I do. Reading is a motherfucker for me. Like, for reading a book, I have to reread paragraphs constantly because I'll start thinking, but I can continue reading while I'm thinking.
But like you don't retain anything.
No, I have no idea what I just read.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I'll be thinking about something completely different. That's a real pain in the ass for reading books. Especially long, informative books. Motherfucker. But, no, so, like, really, you believe, Lee Harvey Oswald just shot him? Only one?
No, that was a total joke.
Okay. I knew you had a little more info than that.
No, yeah, it was probably fucking CIA or whatever. How they did it, I don't know. Whoever was in the car obviously just capped both of them, probably.
In the car? What are you talking about in the car? So now,
our fucking Jackie Kennedy, is that his wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, she just shoved the gun behind the seat.
Oh, jeez, that's absurd, Cody. You can't be thinking like that.
Because he was cheating with Madonna.
Marilyn Monroe.
Fuck, dude.
Do you know any celebrities?
Dude,
Cody?
I'm trash. No, I don't give a shit about celebrities, man.
So no, but basically it's just the long and the short of it. There were 50 plus assassins in Dallas the day he was shot.
Yeah, JFK didn't even want to go to Dallas.
No,
LBJ talked him into it.
They were all dressed as homeless men, and they rode on a fucking bus there together. And you can look the shit up. I don't want to look it up again because I've already read it and looked it up.
I'm on enough lists.
But yeah, Woody Harrelson's dad. Woody Harrelson's a comedian. Mm-hmm. His dad was an assassin. He was there. And there's all sorts of crazy shit about it. I mean, there's a million well, not a million, but there's tons of different people who wanted JFK dead. So I mean, the fucking CIA wanted him dead. He was going to dismantle the CIA. Like, he had said it before. He threatened them constantly about it. FBI. It's just, there's lots of people who wanted JFK dead. So it's like, who knows who shot him? But I'm pretty sure, in my opinion anyway, Lee Harvey Oswald did get a couple shots off. I don't know if he ever hit him, but he gets shot in the throat, clearly, when he grabs his fucking neck, and he's like this, and then he clearly gets shot from the grassy knoll, which tons of people who were later died within 20 years of the incident who witnessed it said that they saw lots of like smoke over by the grassy knoll, like as if gunfire had gone off, and all the reports of multiple gunshots, like lots of gunshots. But the most damning evidence is the back and to the left. Back and to the left. Your head does not go back and to the left when you get shot in the back of the head.
Didn't they try to say that people said it was the grassy knoll, but the problem was the way the bullet came in?
No, it's the way the report reads, the official report, the Warren Commission reads, is like the echo came down the stairs and out the door of the book depository or whatever it was, and down the street. So it sounded like the gunshots came from the grassy knoll, but it really did come from the book depository. It's just the way it was set up, the sound went that way. And then if you go, I've never been there, but apparently if you go to the fucking, they have a thing set up for the book, you can't even fucking, there's no way you'd shoot out that window.
No.
It's a joke. I mean, but all that stuff, then Tower 7, 9/11, all that stuff. I mean, I can sit here all day and tell you about why it looks really weird and it doesn't sound right, but
I would totally believe if they used the bomb threat in 92 against the World Trade Center to go in there and set the whole shit up.
There's that. I mean, I've heard that. But there's just so many things with lots of holes in them. I mean, back to the JFK, they had two different reports. They had the initial autopsy report in Dallas, which said he had 2 bullet holes. He had the one in the neck, and then he had fucking half of his head gone from the other one. And then they had the official autopsy report, which only said he got shot in the head. They just eliminated him getting shot in the neck, which is fucking weird. Why? Why does it matter? They have a picture of him with a fucking hole in his neck, and then they have another picture of him where they covered it up. Why?
Classic.
I mean, it's just, what if there's not something there? Why would you go to that? Why would you go to the trouble? Yeah, the lengths to cover it up and the trouble to make it fucking look real. It's just so odd.
Yeah, no, there's definitely something.
And I haven't looked into the 9/11 enough to go ahead and start like being a skeptic about it, but I do know the pictures at the Pentagon and the trajectory of it. It does look a lot like a missile more than it does a plane, and they don't have any pictures of a plane hitting the building, even though the Pentagon has 1 million goddamn cameras on it. So that always bothered me.
I've never seen a plane crash completely disintegrate.
Exactly.
There's literally nothing there besides a fucking passport.
They never fin. That's what I love too. Is like,
it's like, are you joking me right now, dude?
The passport survived the 9/11 crash,
but not this steel plane or whatever fucking beams, alloy
the
foil.
Steel beams. But it's, I mean, then you look at it and they found all sorts of thermite in the dust. They found iron oxide in the dust that only comes from a thermite reaction. Maybe they didn't find thermite, I don't know. But they found the iron oxide or whatever it is that comes from a thermite reaction, which would not come from a plane crash. And then you look at Tower 7 fall, and I'm not saying that it's a controlled demolition, but it really looks like it. When it collapses into itself and it just falls
nothing hits it.
Down.
Nothing hits it.
I mean, apparently it hit some buildings once it got down, but the video, it went straight all the way.
But like
until
nothing
it got
hit
down.
that building.
Oh yeah, I know. It's all that stuff is just a little deep for me to get into, I guess, because I don't know enough. I'm not. I mean, I'm not an expert on any of that stuff. I haven't done enough investigating, but I do know those videos of the planes crashing into it do look really odd. Like, not that I'm denying a plane hit the building. Plane fucking hit the building, but I mean, like, the explosion afterwards seems like too much.
Yes.
Way too much.
I thought you were gonna deny the planes, and I was like, oh
No,
my god,
no.
don't go that far.
I saw the
with me,
planes
too.
hit it for sure. Those planes smoked that motherfucker.
Next, you're gonna tell me you believe the Earth is flat.
No, I've seen enough pictures of the Earth. I know it's not fucking flat.
No, they're doctored by NASA though, dude.
Well, that's what I've heard that too. I mean, that's a whole nother fucking
And
can of worms.
every other country that's ever been to space on the planet.
Yeah, everybody's in it together. Like, that's the first time we've been able to collaborate as a world.
We're fighting everybody everywhere all the time, but
come
on
together
space,
on
we all fake it. Yeah, man, that's like ridiculous. At that point, I feel like you can just believe anything. Like the whole world is just controlled.
Yeah, I mean, we can't come together on anything as a world, like, so I just can't imagine that that's the one thing we're gonna come together on.
Yeah, like
Is a flat Earth. Excuse me, conspiracy.
it's like why has not one person ever just like taken a camera to the edge then?
Yeah, no shit. Some rich guy would have found the edge by now.
Yeah, dude, like for real.
But you can't find the
Some
edge.
rich kid with nothing to do.
You can't find the edge because you fall off. See, Cody, you didn't think about that.
No, their
You just
argument
fall
is
off.
it's like so instead of
Or you just flip around to the other side.
instead of Antarctica being
Yeah, I've never done any looking into this.
instead of Antarctica being that northern continent, it's like this ice wall
That blocks you from
that
going
like
over
surrounds
the
the whole thing. Yeah, and like NASA and stuff, guards it. I guess is their like whole.
edge.
thing.
Apparently we do have a base up there on the fucking.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah, right. Like, we're not the only ones, but yeah, everybody's got a little base up there because
Um,
we used to train soldiers up there all the time to get them ready for subarctic fighting in Siberia with the Russians. That's
Yes.
terrible. It's like, it's cold here. It gets colder up there. Fuck. I don't know if I could do it.
There's this area called, I think it's called like the Wilhelm's crater or something like that. That might be totally wrong. Anyway, some kind of crater, and it's like this gravitational anomaly in Antarctica. And the theory, they're like current like theory right now for what it is like this huge crater impact from forever ago. That was like, it would be like an impact like from a crater that's like 10 times bigger or 3 times. It's either 3 times or 10 times, I can't remember, bigger than the one that killed the dinosaurs.
Damn. I've never heard about that.
That was just some shit I read because someone was trying to say it was some alien shit. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. The only real sign of aliens I've ever seen is that one. It's over in Europe somewhere. I think it's in Scotland. They have this, like, on the side of a hill or a mountain or whatever. It's a hill. It's like this outline of a big giant man with a big fucking penis, like, on the hillside.
Do you know what the Nazca desert lines are?
No, I don't.
Holy shit, man. Okay, I'm gonna look this shit up, Google Images style for you.
Nazca desert lines? NASA?
Nazca, like
Nazca?
Nazca.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, so apparently now, of like hearing some shit about how if you're lonely, like being isolated, like I mean being in solitary in jail is a great example of it. Like the worst thing you can do to somebody who lives with murderers and rapists, like Joe Rogan says, that you put them by themselves, like it's the worst thing you can do to
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
in jail.
Because
But
we're
anyway,
a social creature.
yeah, exactly. And so apparently now they found out loneliness, being lonely like that, is worse for your health than smoking and drinking and doing all sorts of other horrible things. Just the idea of you being emotionally hurt is so much harder on your body than physical things that you do to your body. And I found that really interesting. Like, if I hit you with a stick, the same part of your brain, the part of your brain that reacts to ouch, that hurt, I just hit you with a stick, is the same part of your brain that reacts if I insult you. But the prolonged effects of that hurt last much longer for me to insult you than they do for me to hit you with that stick, which is really fucking crazy. Like, you really hold on to that emotional pain.
Oh, I believe that.
And it's I mean, this is science. Like, I wish I knew the fucking article, but I heard it in a podcast, so I never know the goddamn articles.
Of course.
It's like, should be a little site at the end of this where we try to link in some, or at least in the description, try to link in some credibility, so we don't sound like we're just talking out.
All right. If you've never heard of this shit, I definitely think you should Google images it because it's pretty crazy. But it's Nazca lines, Nazca. So what they are is there's a desert in South America where these lines have been drawn in the shapes of like animals and stuff.
Yeah, so is this in the sand or?
Yeah, and they're
Sand? Out in the desert?
super old, like hundreds,
And they
thousands,
survive
1,000 years old maybe.
sandstorms and everything?
Well, there's
or
like
they
this
just
weird.
reappear afterwards?
There's a weird climate thing there where it's like not very windy at all.
Okay.
It's like this weird like spot globally, I guess. Is there explanation for it? At
Yeah,
least?
no,
I
I
don't know.
mean, yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, it's made with these weird kind of like rocks and stuff. I don't think they can like.
Probably not.
Not at all. But yeah. So like, and you can like, they've been getting like, obviously more desecrated as it goes on, because people have been like. There was a huge like festival there. I think one time that ended up like doing some damage to it. But nobody knows how, because they're huge. They're like huge.
Well, they look pretty big, yeah. How they got there, nobody has any
Yeah,
idea.
no, you wouldn't really be able to like see the right angle without like being directly over it.
Oh, okay, so it's one of those things that's like hidden a lot of the times.
Yeah, you can probably like see the lines.
It's like that
you can
Indiana
probably
Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark. You can't see the final little bridge to walk across to go get the cup because it's at some weird angle and you can't see it.
Because like you can probably see the lines like as you're walking next to him. You can see the lines in the dirt, but you can't like see what it makes out.
And that was the Last Crusade, not the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
So you can't see the like whole design of what it is.
Yeah. Unless you get at the right angle.
Yeah, unless you get like if you're like flying above it, basically.
Dude, just because somebody just said this, like, nobody should ever text you sup unless you're bros. Just saying. Seems insulting. But anyway, continue.
Oh, is it like, I don't know.
It's like the laziest way to say what's up. Sup. Even a suh, dude, takes a little bit. You gotta put a space in there.
But like, yeah, so they just shouldn't have had the technology to be able to make these huge designs in the dirt.
I mean, the pyramids is the same way. Like, the way
No, that shit is just weird to me, dude.
the way the pyramids are lined up with the longitude and latitude of the Earth.
And like the stars and stuff.
Yeah, and then, I mean, they even come up with it nowadays how long it would take us to make them. And it would still be ridiculous.
Forever, dude.
Yeah. But now they're also finding out, too. It's like, I was always taught that they were slaves. Like, the people who built the pyramids were slaves. But now they're finding evidence that they were actually just skilled craftsmen who were hired to do it. Like, they were actually living decent lives and they were being paid and were working there.
I question that.
So it's interesting. And it might not have been all of them. There probably were some slaves, but like maybe there were some like actual not slaves too.
The first pyramid
That's
in
interesting.
Egypt was built in like between 3200 and 3800 like BC. So like 5,000 years ago.
Yeah, and then I mean,
5,500 years ago.
it's like my biggest thing. How do you?
That's ridiculous.
How do you move
dude.
those fucking rocks, like, or the stones?
Mm-hmm.
Like they had the new theory on it is they were just building forms in place and filling them. You know what I'm saying?
I never heard that.
Oh yeah, I'd read or heard something about that. I heard it on a podcast because Bill fucking Burr was talking about it. But yeah, they were thinking that maybe they just like built some kind of cast or a form, and then they filled that bitch up.
This is an interesting picture. It
I
shows
didn't even
like
know what I was looking at.
it shows like where all the Nazca desert lines are in like relation to each other.
That's weird. Some of those look so that one little guy, like the one with the arms, it looks like a little person. Number 14 there.
Oh yeah.
He looks like that looks so modern. Like, I don't know. That's my thought on crop circles too. Is I've known and heard about enough people who go out and do it themselves that it's like, fuck. Why? What?
This is super
somebody
old,
might have
though.
done it. So it's just been there for thousands of years,
Hundreds. I don't know like
and
how
it
long.
never goes away. Ever.
Well, like you can like, it's like it's been damaged as far as like, if
It
I
doesn't
went
look as good as
if
it
I
used
went up
to.
there and like scuffed an area of it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm wondering. It's like, how did it, like, yeah, live through all that? Like, nobody rode a fucking camel across these and didn't notice? Like, you know?
Well, it's like
It's
I don't
weird.
know where it's
so
at.
it feels like some assholes out there just, like, living in the desert and maintaining them. I mean, back in the day, it's not, I mean, you can't tell me some idiot didn't ride around on it. Like, because he said you can only see it at certain angles. But who knows? I don't know. I just like to ask questions. Rocking it up, though, here. I don't know what the fuck this timer has anything to do with real time, but it's whatever 376 is. That's how long we've been going.
It was like an hour and a half for the other video, I think, and we're at like 40 minutes on this video. So, and there was like 2 minutes of that, like in between shit.
Yeah, right on.
So like we're at about like 2 hours or so right now, I think.
It's not too bad. Kind of covered some shit I was trying to cover. I mean, got some good stuff in there.
Dude, I can't believe nobody I've ever asked about the Nazca lines has ever seen them before, and I'm always so surprised
No, that's
that
not.
I'm like,
I mean, I'm not a big Egypt person either.
no, that's in like South America.
Oh, no, that's interesting. I mean, I didn't even fuck. They don't have a lot of deserts down there. That's something else I was thinking about the other day watching some World War II shit. It's like nobody ever has a war in South America. Like they
yeah,
have
it's
little
in Peru.
ones.
Peru.
Oh, they have little tiny wars, but they don't ever have big global conflicts there. It's usually over in Europe,
In
Russia.
South America?
Yeah, nothing ever really kicks off there. We have little things, but never anything
No,
big.
they're just like slaves for our oil.
Well, yeah, exactly. We always support rebel uprisings there to go ahead, or not even that. We just support military coups to go ahead and take over. But it's just funny. Like, nothing's ever going on in South America. It's kind of like a really horrible place. Nobody ever talks about it.
Venezuela's pretty fucking looking good.
Yeah, let's say
Looking
Central
good,
America,
looking
too.
good.
We raped the shit out of that. Guatemala. All those nice little countries. Panama.
Gave him a good old taste of imperialism.
Good old taste of American empire. Right up your ass.
We just learned it from our dad.
But yeah, fuck, I got everything. I think we got it all covered just about for today anyway. Unless you got something
I
else.
can't think so. I'm still like hurt that you don't watch Always Sunny. I'm gonna take that like as a it's like a personal
that
offense.
show, I don't know. It's like it's weird. I've always had a little bit of a beef with Danny DeVito for some reason.
What? Dude? I love
Yeah,
Danny
ever
DeVito.
since that movie he did, Little Brother or whatever, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like I didn't enjoy that.
He might be one of my favorite actors, man.
Like, and then he was married to the chick from Cheers, which I always thought, Carla, the bartender.
I never watched
He's
Cheers,
married
but
to
I know
her
who
or
she
is still
I know
married to her.
I think they're getting a divorce actually,
Oh, okay.
or
That's
have
unfortunate.
recently been divorced.
Yeah, that's too bad. Fuck.
But yeah, I think that's like, I don't really have any. I don't know.
Man, I think that's a wrap. We need to step outside, get some fresh air. It's beautiful out now. The rain stopped, so appreciate the listeners. Catch you next time on the what's the name of this now, Cody? You had it.
Check Your Perspective.
Check Your Perspective podcast. And
So I think that's
enjoying
what
the
we're
name.
gonna.
And nobody else has it, so I think we can roll with
yeah,
it.
yeah. There's not
flow
someone
with
with
it.
this name this time, I think. So hopefully,
Yeah, no copyrights on that.
hopefully we're good to go.
Hopefully get this edited up so it looks a little better than Amateur Hour.
Hopefully I'm not an idiot next time.
Yeah, as long as we don't bump the fucking mouse.
That's like
we'll
2 times
be
I'm
all
an
right.
idiot because I was an idiot last time that we did it
Forgot to
too.
record the video.
No, it was recording, but it stopped because it was stupid. It like recorded like the first 2 minutes and then nothing after that.